adventures, it's me, the Spot King, and I'm back with some broken build in Baldur's Gate 3. Since this resistance to all types of damage. I don't know, guys. It's broken. It's just broken. Just absurdish amount of damage. While not taking almost any damage yourself. How many damage do we take? We're taking 0 damage. Look at this. OMG! 100 damage to every target in single turn as level 5. Just protective, crazy, broken wizard. So, how we create this unbeatable tanky wizard? Okay, let's go. All my builds is kinda not race specific, but today I will pick dwarf, especially gold dwarf, just to get this more hit points. When we play in tanky class, we won't have more hit points. So if you wanna optimize this stuff, go with dwarf. But if you want cool looking dude and you like elves, half elves, just go with them. That's totally fine. And we're not starting with a wizard. Instead, we want to go with cleric on our first level. And there's 2 reasons. First of all, we're getting awesome cantrips like Blade Ward, and this will reduce normal weapon damage. Bludgeoning, piercing and slashing damage. It will just reduce this damage. And that's insane stuff, we will need this later in the game. Additionally, you get some nice stuff like Guidance and Thaumaturgy, so with Cleric your cantrips will look like this. Thaumaturgy, Guidance and Blade Ward. Clerics got subclasses. And when we pick in subclass, for this style, we can go with different subclasses, but not with light, trickery or knowledge domain, because different clerics got this proficiency different. We want heavy armor proficiency because we're dumping our dexterity. More on that in a second. So you want to go with life, nature, tempest or war domain. Especially for this build, war domain or tempest domain will work at its best. War domain will give you proficiency with more weapons, you could use more weapons basically, but we don't care too much about weapons. That's why I like Tempest Domain. Tempest Domain will give us ability to strike back at attacking creatures, potentially dealing 2d8 damage, and it will be lightning or thunder damage. Background, doesn't matter, pick whatever you like, and our ability distribution. Our main abilities will be Strength, Intelligence and Constitution. Constitution we like health points, Intelligence we're playing Wizard. It's our main ability for Wizard. Yeah, at first level we're playing Cleric, but when you live in your tutorial level, you already will be level 2 and you will start playing Wizard after that. Strange, we need to attack with our weapon, mace or whatever you got in hand. Sometimes you will just attack with your weapons instead of using magic. Dexterity we're dumping because will be aiming for heavy armor. And basically our spare points goes to wisdom and charisma. I round them up, so I got +2 in both of these saving throws because we're starting as cleric. He got wisdom and charisma proficiency. Just like that, let's go. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. What spell do you prepare on first level? So this type of cleric, you basically can prepare any spell you like for first level, for tutorial level, but then we will use this create or destroy watcher. And as cleric, you can prepare only 1 spell with this build because we got 10 in wisdom. We got only 10 in wisdom, so we can't use any other spells. Okay, how we crafting our build in early game? On level 2, we're getting our wizard finally. For cantrips, I would go with Firebolt, Shocking Grasp and Minor Illusion. For spells, as wizard you can learn all spells from the scrolls, so it doesn't matter too much. And again, we're not using a lot of spells, but for early game it would be nice to get Magic Missile, Tasha's Hideous Laughter and Sleep. Some disables, some damaging off, so I would suggest with this build to go just with some exploration stuff like Long Strider, Enhanced Sleep and Feather Fall. It will help you a lot. Long Strider buffs all your party, and your party will get more movement speed in the battles, while Enhanced Sleep and Feather Fall can give you ability to just go over traps and not like freaking out when you're trying to solve how to turn off some gas vents and other stuff. So basically your prepared slots will look like this: Magic Missile, Tasha's Hideous Laughter and Sleep, and Long Strider. And these 2 you activate when you want them on exploration. On 3rd level we get in Wizard again. We can pick our subclass, and this will be Abjuration Wizard of course. So we want this Arcane Ward ability, and this will protect us from harm. Again, any spell will work. We doesn't care too much. So most of the time we got some stuff to concentrate on. But this could work too. You will get dash as bonus action, and especially with this playstyle, dash can be like beneficial for us. So pick whatever you want. Again, on 4th level, we're changing our class again. So we're starting to script our unbeatable wizard. And what we want here, we want Warlock right now. So we get in 1 level in Warlock. Of course, we can get Eldritch Blast, it's still nice cantrip, why not to have this. For our subclass, I recommend going with the Fiend, because we don't have any cool stuff from other subclasses, and from Fiend we at least gaining at least some temporary hit points sometime. A little bit sprinkle of these hit points, but whatever. Most importantly, from Warlock we get in our spell. Our spell of choice is Armor of Agathos, of course. And that's our bread and butter for this build. And another spell will be Hellish Rebook. This will use our Warlock spell slot, and we will do 2d10 damage as a reaction. And next up, at level 5, we're finishing our early game build. So we get in 1 more level in the Warlock. This will give us additional spell slot for Warlock. Yeah, we need 2 spell slots. We can learn 1 more spell, we don't care too much. We can go with Arms of Hager. Most of the time we were not using any Warlock spells at all. And we get an Eldritch Invocations. When you play in Warlock, most of the time you're going with Agonizing Blast to give Charisma modifier to damage of Eldritch Blast, and that totally makes sense if you're playing Charisma-based Warlock, but we're playing Wizard today. So this will be a little bit cheesy stuff. And we will go with Armor of Shadows, because we got low Charisma and we just don't need any other stuff. Other invocations can be whatever you like. Maybe you want to push enemies sometime with Eldritch Blast. Most of the time you won't use this stuff anyway, so you can go with Devil's Sight, so you will get this vision in magical and non-magical darkness. Pretty useful sometime. Or Repelling Blast, of course, it still works. It's still pushing enemies. So level 5. So our gear and what we're aiming for. As you can see, we got -1 from dexterity to our armor class. That's why we need to go and find heavy armor as fast as possible. And while you get in any armor you possibly could get, as soon as just finish of Act 1, it will be really fast. You can find Adamantine Forge and craft this stuff in Underdark. I don't need to tell you more about it. I guess you figure out how to get this armor by yourself. It will be a fun quest for you. So what's this armor do? It's reducing all incoming damage by 2. All damage. Basically every damage instance you will take will be reduced by 2. That's very big stuff. And attackers can't land critical hits on us. So that's great armor. It will be nice until end of your journey, basically. Very cool armor. Then in Act 2 you can get this bow. It doesn't matter too much do you have this bow or not, but this bow will give you resistance to fire and cold damage. So every fire and cold instance of damage will be reduced by half. Very cool stuff too, but we don't need bow for attack, just for resistance. Additionally, this bow will give us this Hast, and Hast is awesome because you can cast it on yourself and do 2 actions in 1 turn. Attack with your mace or whatever you got in your hand. So your weapon just should be weapons that you are proficient with. And that's insane stuff too. And last but not least, we want this Absolute Protector's shield, if you possibly could get it, but come on, you just pick any shield in your offhand. And just like that, you will have armor class of 20. That's insane armor class, and with this build, actually, sometime you will need to reduce this armor class. It's just very high, actually, very high. Sometimes you just go and unequip your shield and use double hand weapons, just whatever, just to reduce your armor class. So how this build actually plays out? First of all, of course, you start in with Long Strider, so you get more movement speed in the battle. And that's why some movement speed races like Half-Elf, Wood Half-Elf especially, will work with this build. Additionally, from shield, you get this Fire Shield Chill, so you're inflicting cold damage to attackers. That's nice too. And again, gear is not important. You can play it with any gear you like. And while we get this Armor of Agathos from Warlock spell slot, we can upcast it with Wizard spell slots easily, so we get more temporary hit points and will inflict more damage when someone attacks us. So we're starting with upcasted Armor of Agathos, of course. Mostly we'll use our spell slots for this stuff. Sometimes you just need to hit targets in the distance, use Magic Missile, or disable targets with Sleep or Tasha's Howder's Laughter. Whatever. So most importantly, Armor of Agathos is Abjuration spell. And as a wizard, especially this type of wizard, when you cast in Abjuration spells, you gain stacks of Arcane Ward. And Arcane Ward will reduce damage that you take and lose charges. So it's reducing damage by the number of Arcane Wards and reducing by 1 charge. So basically when you get 10 arcane words, you get in 10 damage, so you get in 0 damage, and then you get only 9 arcane word. What is the coolest part about it? And what is the like cheesy part? You can play it just like that. You can go into the battle, cast this Fire Shield Chill. It's level 4 evocation spell, and you get it from the shield. And when you cast it, you will get 4 stacks of Arcane Ward, because Arcane Ward gets in stacks when you cast in Abjuration spells. So you cast Armor of Agathos from 2nd level, you get in stack. You cast it from Warlock spell slot, you get in stacks, and just like that. So let's attack this bro. So we getting damaged, we lost 1 stack, as you can see. Easy and straightforward. But all of this stuff using spell slots. So what is this like cheesy part? Cheesy part that you can unequip your armor, and you will get this Armor of Shadows. This will be always prepared spell. This won't use any spell slots, and that's come from our Warlock. So we cast it on ourselves from Eldritch Invocation, we get in this Arcane Ward, and then we equip in armor again. So we unequip armor again, then we cast in this stuff again, and we can do it as much time as possibly we need, but we got limited arcane words, so make sure to understand this stuff. You're basically maxing out arcane words before the fight and then going into the fight. That's totally viable, that's working as intended, and let me show you this bro in action, what you will do in fight basically. So first turn, you can basically turn on Fire Shield from your shield if you have it right now. And just run to enemies and run away from enemies. They will try to attack you. So I unequip all my armor. I want them to attack me, or they will miss. But higher level enemies, of course, will attack you more often, and you don't need to unequip your armor. So as you can see, imps don't want to attack us, and that's for a reason, of course. That's for a reason. But even if they don't want to attack us, we can provoke this stuff. But before we provoking any stuff, we want to use Create to Destroy Water as Cleric, level 1 spell. So we creating water on these imps. They will become wet. Just look at this stuff. So they now wet. Let me examine. And when they wet, cold damage against they are doubled. And what damage we're inflicting with Armor of Agathos? Cold damage, of course. Additionally, we're inflicting cold damage with Fire Shield Chill. And just watch this beautiful stuff. So he missed, sadly. So they are still wet. Let's provoke some opportunity attacks. Look at this. OMG! What a damage, what a damage. So level 5, just level 5, will inflict when someone attacks you. Just flat 20 damage from Armor of Agathos, flat 20. Because you're inflicting 10 damage from Armor of Agathos, and then you're inflicting additional 10 if they wet. So wet enemies will be destroyed by this stuff. Then you're inflicting 2d8 cold damage from this chill shield, and this will be doubled. So basically you can make around 32 damage. And just like that we inflicted 48 damage at level 5. And we can do it like a lot of times in one turn. Additionally, we can go and use Hellish Rebuke to inflict additional fire damage. Don't forget this stuff. And yeah, we can upcast it easily. So that's our reaction. We can use this, and we can inflict additional 30 damage. And sometime, because we are Tempest Domain Cleric, we will inflict 2d8 Tempest damage, or lightning damage to enemies when they attack us. So just like that, we can inflict 100 damage to every target in single turn as level 5. Because we can go again to this bro and run away, provoke opportunity attack. He just destroyed. And yeah, coolest part, how many damage do we take? We're taking 0 damage because Arcane Ward basically dumping all damage we take. So it's just dumping all damage. Let's use Hellish Rebuke. That's just so fun. So just like that, our build comes online. And as you can see, we lost our Arcane Ward slots, so that's stuff in action. We use an armor, equip, unequip, use an armor again. And here, if you don't know, you can use armor over here, so you can equip and equip it over here. That's really easy and fast way to play this build. So you just drop armor on your quick action, just an equip, use it on yourself. I mean, it's really fast stuff to do. And let's finish our build. And basically we're finishing with Wizard, of course. We're going and finishing with Wizard. So what do we need from our spells? Cold spells, any cold spells we can possibly get. And just pick any exploration stuff. You can go with Misty Step to teleport with bonus action, it's a useful spell too. But mostly you will just take some stuff like Disguise Self, Knock, Invisibility, See Invisibility, and other stuff like that. Just for exploration, just for fun, you don't need any other stuff. But we got some cool feature, of course, Darkness. Darkness can work too. So you can concentrate on the spell, and because we're using Eldritch Invocations, you could pick this Darkness stuff, so you will be able to see in magical darkness. That's not too beneficial for you, because enemies will have a hard time to hit you, but again, you just stand in the darkness, they stand nearby, they don't see anything. You're protective mage, you're just protective, crazy, broken wizard. So on level 7 we finally can get our feat, and because we don't need a lot of spell slots, we can go without intelligence, and because we're not using a lot of spells with attack rolls basically, we can get away without too much intelligence. So we can increase constitution just to keep concentration, to get more health points. We can increase strength, depending on what you're actually doing with this tank wizard, you can use your attacks. You're using your magic to get your shields and to use your attacks to inflict damage. So adding strength is just nice idea too. Another good way to go with is to get tough trade. Tough trade just increase your health points maximum. And basically you get a lot of hit points at this level, so you get super beefy dude basically. But feat we want to take is Heavy Armor Master. So this feat will add +1 to our strength, but most importantly, every non-magical attacks will be decreased by 3 while we're wearing heavy armor. So this further will increase our tankiness. And if you want, you can respec at this level to alternate ability points. You can get strength to 17 from first level, you dump dexterity as before, 16 constitution, 14 intelligence. You will get a lot more hit points, a lot more power, a lot more chances to hit enemies, and wisdom 10, just to have some wisdom, charisma, dexterity dump. So level 8, we're getting access to level 3 spells. For level 3 spells, we can go with Glyph of Warding, it will use some ice damage if you need, and Lightning Bolt can be used too, because lightning will be affected by your create or destroy water, it will be doubled damage, so it can be used. Wizard level 6 and level 9, doesn't matter, pick whatever you like. Level 10, when we get level 7 with Wizard, you get access to level 4 spells, and here we can finally pick Fire Shield for ourselves, and it will be Fire Shield Shield, so we can cast it by ourselves. This shield that was casted with our shield before, so it's hard to match shield words, but okay. Ice Storm, again, some icy magic. Level 11, we get in Wizard level 8, so we get one more feat. Again, you can pick whatever you like. Doing more damage with melee attacks, just add strength. Want to have more health points? Go with Tough, and you will be 105 health points already. And want more hit points and keep more concentration? Go with Constitution, 105. So it's kinda same as Tough. On last level, I guess Tough will get us better hit points, but basically +2 to Constitution somehow getting us the same result. But I will go with Strength. And we're basically finishing our build, our last level. We can go with Wizard level 12. This will give you ability to make Elemental. This Elemental will be very strong. And you get Cone of Cold, so more cold magic that's doing a lot of damage when enemies is wet. And that's totally an option, so you get access to level 5 spells. Another option to finish this build is to finally get second level in Cleric. So second level in Cleric will give us Destructive Wrath, and this will give us ability to use Channel Divinity Charge 1 time per day to deal maximum damage with thunder or lightning damage. So we got some lightning spells, and that can be beneficial for us too. Let me show you this bro in action. So at final level, you can cast Armor Forgetus with level 5 spell slot. It will give us 25 temporary hit points, and it will do 25 damage when someone tries to attack us. How much arcane words do we have? So again, unequip armor, cast this stuff. Equip armor, repeat, just like that. So at max level you will get 16 arcane ward stacks. And how all of this works? So basically from the start of the fight, most of the time you just use your fire shield and cast it fire shield to get this cold damage stuff on yourself, and you can run around and get damage already. So as you can see, we don't have a lot of concentration spells, that's why we can concentrate on Hast on ourselves even. So we can cast Hast with level 3 spell, and we get 2 actions on next turn. So your first turn should look like this. You just cast Hast on yourself, then you cast Fire Shield Chill on yourself, and then on next turn you can cast Create or Destroy Water on enemies. And that's turn when enemies will be destroyed, because you cast this wet condition on them. They are wet, and they will get double damage for lightning and cold. And you got your lightning bolt that will strike just for incredible amount of damage. As you can see, it strikes in a row in straight line, and you can do 10 d6 damage, so from 10 to 60 damage. But first of all, it will be doubled. And just not to destroy these 2 dudes, I will destroy 1 dude only with this like counter attack. So he got damage for 70 damage, and we still can use Hellish Rebuke for 4 to 40 damage as a reaction. So it's just like, again, 100 damage easily flat, and still we're not triggering this Tempest Cleric stuff. Lucky for them. But you can go and upcut this stuff again with level 5, for example. And you will be prompted with this destructive wrath. Do we want to use this stuff? So yeah, we want to use it, and we'll do maximum damage. So in one turn you're just making just absurdish amount of damage, while not taking almost any damage yourself. But that's again not coolest part. Coolest part, you can buff yourself with Cleric. So if you got Cleric in your party, Cleric got this warding bond. It will increase your armor class by 1, but most importantly, it will give you protection from all damage types. So sadly, just sadly, your Cleric will take damage, same amount of damage that you take. And most of the time, that's like kinda a problem. So while you're getting this resistance to all types of damage, you're basically taking half the damage of all these damage types. And then your Cleric takes other half. So while you're getting this resistance, total amount of damage that enemy inflicts is kinda the same. Total amount of damage to your party. But not with this build, because while we're getting all this cool stuff, we got our Arcane Ward to destroy this damage taken. So basically when we're taking, for example, 30 damage, first of all, it will be halved with our protection. So with our resistance, it will be halved, any damage type. So we're getting damaged by slashing strike with the sword, it halved. 30 damage. Okay, it's 15 now, but it's not 15, it's 0. So, because we got Arcane Ward, and we're taking 0 damage, our Cleric taking 0 damage, and we inflicting 100 damage to every enemy that's try to hit us. I don't know, guys, it's broken, it's just broken, but fun. Broken but fun. So again, little guide, and one more way to just improve the stuff. Start, fight with Hast on yourself. So we get 2 actions, then Fire Shield Chill on yourself, that's your fight start. And then your first round will be just running around. So you run around, you provoking these attacks, and enemies will be destroyed if they hit you. Something like that. But then on next turn, you're doing this stuff, and this like turn of dash for your enemies. You're just creating, destroying water, so you're making them wet. That's like crazy part with just level 1 spell slot. When they wet, first of all, they doing additional damage to you, so you're trying to run away and provoke that opportunity attack. And then what you do, you're using Lightning Bolt. So Lightning Bolt will do just crazy amount of damage to these wet enemies. You can use Destructive Wrath, of course, and that's just insane. They just dead. Look on this imp, he's just destroyed. He just destroyed. And he don't want to attack us even. He don't want to attack us. He knows where it's going. And you can do it for all next turns, basically. So just go, use your lightning bolt, just a lot, and doing crazy amounts of damage. So coolest part, we're basically taking 0 damage every time and doing just insane amount of damage to enemies. That's like coolest part. So let's just try to jump away. And goodbye, guys. So finally we triggered this stuff. So sometimes you trigger this reaction, it's just random, and you just doing this lighting damage, and that's just insane stuff too. Just crazy. I hope you enjoyed this broken wizard build. It's really fun to play and very enjoyable too. But maybe you're interested how can you beat Baldur's Gate 3 with just potato. Watch it on the screen right now, or other cool builds. They on the screen right now too. See you in the next videos, guys.